In today's video, we're going to create the Brookhaven of Poppy Playtime. New monster, new story, and even a reference to Brookhaven within Poppy Playtime. Using the beginning of the trailer as a reference, you can see some impaled bodies right there in the background. So, the first thing I'm going to search for here is, of course, impaled, to see if we can find something ready-made. Well, technically, this isn't a wrong answer, but I wanted someone impaled, not the impaler. Since that apparently doesn't exist, we'll make it ourselves. To do this, I'll search for dead bacon, and basically, we have several options here in Roblox Studio. The bacon chosen to be impaled is this one right here. It has this passed out look, so it's perfect for doing something extremely cruel to our lobby. As you can see, it's a little crooked here, but we'll just adjust it to make it look properly impaled. This impaled bacon will be the decoration for our lobby. Of course, first, I'll remove some of these decorations here so they don't get in the way. So, let's remove all the plants and these lampposts to make it nice and clean. Now, we can take our bacon skewer and duplicate it to place it in several spots around our Brookhaven lobby. Let's duplicate these and place them in the back as well, so we have more bacon decorations. Now, I've just realized that I'm literally making a bacon skewer. For now, our lobby is still pretty simple, but it still needs some decorations to make it truly terrifying. The trailer itself gives us the hint we need, which is exactly this giant ketchup-stained ketchup, you know what I mean? So, basically, we'll take some stains and place them right under our bacon. I'll add some variety here with the stains to make it look more natural, like a lot of ketchup was spilled. Some of these stains will also be on the walls to make it more realistic, like a crime scene or something. Although, in Poppy Playtime, it's not exactly a crime scene, but you get the idea. And dude, look at this stain I found, it's so realistic. My god, it even looks real. For this last bacon, to add some variety, I'll place a blood arrow instead of a puddle to make it different. I'll just scale it up a bit to make it nice and big. And to make this lobby even dirtier, I'll take this new body and place it right here inside the Brookhaven fountain. Of course, because of it, the entire fountain has to turn red, as if the water was stained. I tried to mimic blood here using a red carpet, but as you can see, it doesn't look very good up close. Now, for the lobby floor, I thought about imitating the floor from this scene, which is basically a factory metal floor, like in Poppy Playtime. So, the floor we'll use is this one right here because, as you can see, it looks a lot like a factory floor. The only difference is that I'll have to change the color of these parts because the Poppy Playtime factory floor is much darker. The color I've chosen for this floor is this gray here, which is a very dark gray and looks a lot like the Poppy Playtime floor. To give the same old factory vibe, I'll also change the texture of the fountain to something more rusty. And yes, I know we've changed a lot of things, but it still doesn't look like Poppy Playtime. But that's okay because if we search for Poppy Playtime here, we'll already have several items to use in our lobby and the rest of Brookhaven. So now it's time for Poppy Playtime to show up. I'll select these white parts of the Brookhaven roads and apply the Poppy Playtime floor texture. And of course, as a good copycat, I'll do this for the entire map. I know it's a lot of work, but it looks really cool. This is just a taste of how awesome our map is going to look. Phew, this took some effort, but I finally applied this texture to all the roads in Brookhaven. Oh, I just forgot about this part here. While I was doing this, I came up with some really cool ideas. For example, in this hallway here, you can see it looks pretty bizarre with this texture. And in the Brookhaven tunnel, it's also a very creepy place with this texture. I think it turned out really awesome, and we can do something inside here. Guys, in that hallway, we can make exactly this thing here, which is basically a grate or a prison. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be, but luckily, I found this gate here that looks a lot like the one from Poppy Playtime. Let's just adjust it right here in the middle, and now I'll scale it up to make it fit perfectly in this whole thing. Okay, as you can see, this is the gate, and this is our version for now. Another standout feature here are these pipes up above, as well as this red light and even some smoke. To make the red light, I'll use a red light, but to make it less obvious, I'll sink it into the ground like this. As you can see, it already looks a lot like the trailer. The other thing we need to add is piping. I found this bunch of pipes all together here, and I'll place them right on this wall. Of course, those pipes are much bigger, so we'll scale them up like this. I also need to grab a pipe and place it on the ceiling, so I'll scale this pipe up a lot and place it right up here. But it needs to be closer to the door, just like in the trailer, like this. In the same spot, I can see some debris on the left and a grate on the right. Since we don't know exactly what the debris looks like, I grabbed this generic pile of bricks and placed it in roughly the same position here. I'll also add this metal rod here in the middle of our debris. Look at this side by side. It looks super similar to the debris scene. For our grate, I found this one here. here. As you can see, it's very similar, so I'll place it in the right position here on the side. I'll scale it up a bit, and now I'll duplicate it to close it off. Oh, one thing we need to do here is remove the road paint. I didn't want to remove all the roads, but look at this done. This way, it looks much better. Here, I'll apply that factory texture to make it dark and sinister. I'll do the same thing on the walls and also paint them black like this. Oh man, I almost forgot to add the smoke here. This is super important too. I wanted to use red smoke, but the darkest I found was this one, so it'll have to do. But honestly, I think the result turned out really good. Oh, and by the way, let me know in the comments if you caught this reference here. It's clearly a Brookhaven reference. Another thing that appears a lot in this trailer are these monsters, which are the toys from Poppy Playtime. There are several new ones, and honestly, I'm not sure if they'll be available in Roblox Studio. But of course, if we're talking about Poppy Playtime, we can't forget one very important character, and that character is Huggy Wuggy. Yes, I know he's old and has been around since Chapter 1, but honestly, he's one of the most iconic. So, for our buddy Huggy Wuggy, I prepared something very special, which in this case is this entire Brookhaven tunnel. Basically, I'll place him here as if this whole thing were a pipe system. And to make this make a bit more sense, I'll close off these walls. To make this even better, I'll close it off a bit more to create a real pipe system. And this way, we'll have a very tight space, which is exactly what Huggy Wuggy loves. Well, I'm also going to add some decorations from the Poppy Playtime factory, which are basically these things here. Honestly, I don't even know what they are, but since they're in Poppy Playtime, I'll add them here too so we can have decorations that look a lot like the game. Oh, one thing I forgot to change the texture of was the Brookhaven arch, and I'll apply the same Poppy Playtime texture because I think it looks really nice. Now that the map is well decorated, I think it's time to add the monsters and the main characters, Poppy and Huggy Wuggy. I forgot the name of the pink one for a second. I found Poppy here, which is basically this creepy doll with huge red eyes. Honestly, Poppy is so bizarre that she deserves the honor of being the Brookhaven Mountain. Yes, basically, every map I create on the channel, I pay homage to the character by placing them inside the Brookhaven Mountain. Besides making it obvious which game we're talking about, it's also a really cool thing to do. Look at how creepy Poppy is, staring at us. She's gigantic. Now, since this one is smaller, I'll leave her here in the Brookhaven lobby because she'll be kind of playing on the swing. I think it's a good spot for her. One thing that's been bothering me for a while is the Brookhaven sky. As you can see, it's still pretty plain, so I'll change it to a very dark sky that's also super creepy, like a storm is coming or something. But of course, in case someone plays this game and doesn't know Poppy Playtime, I'll add a sign here to make it super obvious. I'll scale this sign up a lot, and it'll go right above the Brookhaven shops. Additionally, I also want to renovate the Brookhaven market. On the sign, I wrote Poppy Store. I'll also paint these parts blue, the building yellow, and this little part red. Then, I'll place it right here and scale it up. Now, I'll basically delete all the items inside the market, and with the Brookhaven market renovated, we can start placing our toys here. The first toy I'll place is this one, and I'll have to put it on the floor because it's too big. It's basically a life-sized Huggy Wuggy, so we'll need to scale it up a bit. Look at the size of this thing. Man! Now, on the shelves, I'll place some toys that have already appeared in Poppy Playtime, like these ones here in the background. I also found this rock, which I think is supposed to be like a pet rock. It's kind of funny, I get. Of course, we can't forget to add Poppy herself, since she was also a toy that sold really well back in the day. Basically, I filled this little store with a bunch of toys that appeared in Poppy Playtime, as well as some enemies. If you love Poppy Playtime, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because this video is turning out really good. Okay, so we're now inside Poppy Heaven, the Brookhaven inspired by Poppy Playtime. As you can see, I made some off-camera modifications because I thought they were necessary. The first change was replacing the store sign with an actual Poppy Playtime sign. I also added this creature from the toy factory, which makes a lot of sense since it's on top of the toy store. One place I'm really curious to see how it'll turn out is our hallway. As I suspected, this is one of the best spots we've made in this map. If you look here, it even looks like we're inside the trailer. Look how cool this is! I placed the stakes exactly here, and it looks just like the trailer. There's also this grate that I didn't fully close because only this part appears in the trailer. Oh, I discovered something interesting when I reset my character. Basically, my character actually fell apart. Look at this. Man, so I accidentally placed this, and it worked out pretty cool. Another thing I added here without you guys seeing is this giant dome. Honestly, I don't know what it's for, so if you know, tell me in the comments because I really have no idea. Dude, I just found this Kissy Missy here, and apparently, she's not doing too well. And now, for sure, the top 10 scariest game scenes is here. here, Huggy Wuggy inside the vent. Yes, I really think this part is one of the scariest in all of Poppy Playtime, which is basically when Huggy Wuggy is chasing us through the vent. I recreated it here with almost perfect accuracy, considering the limitations of Roblox Studio. As you can see, it's really creepy. This yellow light here doesn't help much either, it makes it even scarier. I also closed off this wall and added 2 sides to our vent to make it a really cool vent for Huggy Wuggy to crawl through. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel and checking out the other videos around here. Thanks so much to everyone who watched until the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!